Hello there, how's it going? Today we are going to talk about if statements. If you remember from the last time we talked about conditional tests. And in this one we are going to talk about if statements that build on the conditional test from last time. So let's talk about it. So in order to write an if statement, we use the keyword if, then a test, a conditional test, conditional test. Now the test either evaluates to true or false, if you remember from last time. Then we have a colon, and finally we have some code. We have some code. So the idea is if the test passes, we will run this code. So let's do it. Let's try to write some if statements. So first of all, let's create a file, touch if statements.py. Let me open the file, if statements.py. Perfect. Now let's say someone's age is 20 and I want to check if their age is greater than 18. So they are an adult, greater than or equal to 18, I should say. So we knew how to do it, right? Let me say test equal to age is greater than or equal to 18. Now I can print the test. I can print that test. Python if statements.py. I got true. I can say 10 and I can run the code again. Now I got false. Now this test actually tells us if they are greater than, if they are an adult or not, but we are just printing the test. What we can do, we can use this test and make decision based on that. So let me show you. If age is greater than or equal to 18, I can now print you are an adult. Now I can run the code again. I got nothing because the test failed. Let's change the age to 20. Now I got you are an adult. So does the idea make sense to you? I hope it does. If the test passes, we are going to run the code. Otherwise, we will do nothing. So to make it even more clear, let's have an end of the program line, end of the program. This empty print will actually give us a line break. I can write more code inside our print. You can also vote. Indentation is what allows us to put the code inside if statements, very similar to loop. We are gonna use indentation too much in Python, so it's a good idea for you to familiarize yourself with it. So this is our if statements. If the test passes, we are gonna run these two lines. You are an adult. You can also vote. Let's run it again and see. Python if statements.py. You are an adult. You can also vote. Now let's see what happens when our test fails. What do you think will happen? Well, as I said, if the test fails, the test will either be true or false. That's it. The test passes or it fails. If it passes, we run everything inside if, and if it fails, we just goes down. We ignore the code. We just go down. So now the test fails. We are not gonna see anything. We just see end of program and an empty line break as well. Now that's the idea of a statement. Now we can build on top of it using something called an else. And inside else we run else if the test fails. If the test evaluates to false, we run the else part. Sorry, you are too young. Or I can say you are a minor. You can't vote yet. You can write as many lines as you want. I'm just adding 2 lines for demonstration purposes. Python if statements.py. Sorry, you are a minor, you can't vote yet. So if the test fails, we run the else part. Now if you think about it, if you write if with an else, the code will run at least one of the parts, because as I said, the test will either be true or false. If the test is true, we run the if part. If the test fails, if we get false, we run the else part. So either one of them will run all the time, but both of them will never run, because Python only runs one of them. If the first one passes, we ignore the second one. If the first one fails, we run the second one. Very important idea. Very important idea. That's the idea of if and else. And we can have more examples. We can have more examples of it. So let me see if I can come up with more. So we can compare strings. Let's say favorite color. Favorite color is, what's your favorite color? Mine is actually pink. Mine is actually pink. If favorite color equal to, let's say, pink, we share the same favorite color. And now I can use an F string. Sorry, your favorite color is not pink. It is fifth color. Now let's run it. Python if statements.py, we share the same favorite color, because your favorite color is pink. Now let's say if your favorite color is blue, we are gonna run the else part. Python if statements.py. Sorry, your favorite color is not pink, it is blue. And then of course end of program, I wrote it so to show you, after we are done with if and else, our program continues like it does all the time. So that's it for if and else. In the next video, we are going to talk about something called an elif. Let me show you what elif is. If you see this example, there's a if at the beginning and else at the end, but in the middle, we can have something called an elif block. We will talk about it in the next video. So far, this is it for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.